With episode 3 of the show recently being released, the latest trailer for the upcoming episode 4, has just dropped, and it's safe to say that it looks as though the show will be returning to the style narrative of the game again in providing familiar territory and mirrored shots to the video game, and it also seeming as though Joel and Ellie are going to encounter some hunters for the first time. So with that, let's break down and explain all that there was to take away from this latest trailer, and give my theories and predictions for the next episode. So let's get into it. Here is The Last of Us Episode 4 trailer explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The trailer for the next episode of the show opened up with Joel and Ellie looking as though they'd been camping in the woods overnight following on from leaving Bill and Frank's place in Lincoln. The car was still intact, and due to the intrigue that Ellie had with the smell of the coffee, I imagine it would be the first morning after getting the supplies that Bill left for Joel. The opening line of the trailer that we had was Ellie stating that the coffee that Joel was brewing smelled like burnt poop. Due to her being in the Federal Run state for the entirety of her life, they may not have had things like coffee available. So like many things that we've seen in the show so far, this could well be her first encounter with that product. In episode 3 of the show, Joel mentioned that the way that the disease spread in the first place was by the cordyceps infection getting into products that were on the shelves. So with coffee most likely being imported from other parts of the world, they may not have had any within the borders. But with Bill being Bill, he may have had a large stash of it in his bunker or around the house in his kitchen, so Joel may have taken it. We then saw Joel proceed to drink the coffee from his cup whilst he was driving, following Ellie describing the horrible nature of the smell. This to me, although it's a really small engagement, it showed us that the pair are starting to bond a little more, and are having a bit of a laugh with each other. It seems as though Joel could be losing the idea of viewing her as an asset that needed to go somewhere, and it felt like he was starting to see her as an actual human being. After this, we then had some moments that painted the picture of the narrative that many people may have experienced when playing the game. We had Ellie looking at a map as it seemed as though she was the person that was put in charge of directions. However, because she'd never been in a car before, other than when they left Bill and Frank's, it looked as though she got them both lost. She also reiterated the fact that she'd only ever been in a car for 2 days, so we know that this is most likely the day after that they left Bill and Frank's. This was then when we saw the familiar shot that we've seen from the game. There was an individual who was walking in the middle of the road who said the line, "Please help." Ellie then said to Joel, "Are we going to help him?" To which Joel then responded with no, as they then appeared to drive off and try to get away. In this instance, this isn't actually a person that needs help. This is somebody that's in on a plan with a group of people that are described as hunters. In the short clip that followed, we saw that there was a trap on the ground that blew out the tires and ended up going through a shop window. Hunters are a group of survivors that have managed to avoid the cordyceps infection and feel betrayed by Fedra. They're known to steal the clothes, food, and any other items off of an individual that they deem as a passerby through their city, and then once they've got all that they wanted from them, they brutally kill the person that they've just stolen off of. If this scene follows suit with the game, it could most likely see Ellie get taken and Joel also get hurt quite badly, but they'll both fight their way out of it and fend off a handful of hunters. Shortly after that scene, we then saw a vehicle which looked like a snowplow with the words "Run" on the front of it, showing that with the truck that they took from Bill and Frank's now being destroyed, both Joel and Ellie are now stuck in this place where they most definitely don't have the upper hand and are deemed as passerbys and tourists, which means that they'll most likely be at great risk. I believe this is most likely in Pittsburgh as well, judging by where they're at during this point in the game. After this, we then had a shot of Joel walking through what looked like a graveyard of cars. But due to the truck being intact at this point, it makes me think that this was prior to the incident that happened where they damaged their car and got stranded. So this could just be Joel scanning the area before they pressed forward, so I imagine it's early on in the episode. Following this, we then had a shot of a character called Kathleen holding her weapon to somebody who she had hostage. It's hard to tell at this point who it was, but she said the words, "Where is he?" In this instance, she could have had Ellie hostage and be looking to find Joel, as he could have wiped out a lot of the hunters and caused damage to the people that she works with. Joel and Ellie may have been separated when they got into the encounter following the man pretending to need help. We haven't met a character called Kathleen in the show yet, or in the games either, so there's a lot of speculation about what her involvement could actually be. It's predicted that she could well be the leader of the group of hunters in the area, and she may now want to seek revenge due to the damage that Joel could have caused. This would be by him coming in and killing some of the residents who could have been her friends and allies. So that will be an interesting arc to the story that we wouldn't have seen before. Following this, we then had a shot of something falling onto the truck window as Joel and Ellie looked to escape the man that was pretending to need help. This would explain the smash on the window earlier on in the trailer. We then had a shot of Ellie looking as though she was on her own following the accident, so it does further support the idea that Kathleen could have Ellie held hostage, as some people could stumble across her and bring her in for questioning. After this, there was then a scene of Joel fighting an individual in close proximity, so they're most definitely going to be faking the help in order to take out Joel and Ellie. The final thing that we had in the trailer was Joel saying to Ellie, "We'll get through this," with Ellie then responding with the line, "I know," as it looked as though they were set to step outside. I feel we're going to see both Joel and Ellie grow together and strengthen the relationship that they're forming, which feels like it's only going to make what's coming even more heartbreaking to watch. With all 3 of the episodes so far having flashbacks to different time periods where we got to see how the cordyceps infection impacted certain locations, people, and the origin of it, I do wonder if there will be another flashback in episode 4. With Kathleen being a new character, I feel having one from her could be quite well suited, just so we'd understand more about her and her backstory, which led her to be in the position that she's now in, especially if she's the leader of the hunters in the area. A flashback to how they came to adopt brutality and dislike people entering would be entertaining, and also provide good context. We do know that Joel makes it out of the area safely due to the fact that in the trailer that we had a few weeks back for the entirety of the season, he does manage to reunite with his brother Tommy in Wyoming. But that doesn't mean that the next episode won't be entertaining, because I feel it most certainly will be. This time though, it seems as though the threat isn't necessarily going to be the clickers, runners, stalkers, or anybody that's infected, but more so humankind and the new mindset that many of them have adopted in order to survive. So, there you have it, The Last of Us Episode 4 trailer explained. If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.